Yeah, a teleporting Grim Reaper kept following me and killing people, and ended up costing me like over 3 minutes when it was all said and done. Glad to hear we've got similar tastes. Hey, super cool. Come in. Probably not. I've actually toyed with that idea a couple times of doing at least one run of every mainline Final Fantasy just to say that I have, but thinking about it further, like, well, that would involve having to run run games like FF12 and 13, which are extremely difficult runs, and I don't really like them enough to kind of want to put the time in to actually learn the run. Because it's one of those things where you have to know what you're doing just to finish it all. You can't just kind of stumble your way through. Hey Zardia, hey Kiba, hey Matrick, welcome in everybody. Hey some dude, thanks a lot. Yeah, I actually played my first Tales game like 2 years or so ago at this point, Tales of Berseria. I played Tales of Arise last year, but as of now, that's the only Tales I've played. Not off to a particularly good start here. Personally, I enjoyed Tales of Arise more than Tales of Berseria. I thought Berseria had a better story and cutscenes, but Arise had a better combat system. Like the thing about Berseria that I really wasn't too big a fan of was kind of the soul system where you sort of get punished for actually, the specifics are escaping me, but I just remember getting into situations where I couldn't do the combos you need to in order to win fights because of not having enough souls to do them. Maybe someday I'll try the baby worm meat route, but not yet. That's basically where you feed if you get the meat drop from that mini boss, you feed it to your baby dragon. That evolves it into a form that has more agility and makes you less likely to fail fleas in the early game. But there is a trade-off in that it makes you have to get farmed for an additional meat drop in Venus's world in order to stay on track towards getting the Watcher evolution when you need it, and you can pretty easily have to give back all of the time you saved from the baby worm meat and more. That scares me more so than failing fleas in the early game. Lufia 2 with the I Am Setsuna engine. Well, I never finished I Am Setsuna, so I don't really remember a lot about it other than that it was a pretty shameless. Well, maybe I shouldn't say shameless. Pretty blatantly inspired by Chrono Trigger. It's having a tech combo system. I would just love to see any kind of remake of Lufia 2 that's turn-based, though. Well, I guess I would need to withhold judgment until seeing what the 3D character models look like, because going from sprites to 3D models it's a fairly big change, and it's one that has a lot of potential to be done poorly. It's been interesting how kind of for games like that too, where they're trying to turn a 2D tile-based game into a 3D one, a lot of, maybe not a lot, but numerous games like that lately have been using the Octopath style, 2D HD style, where it's using sprite work in a 3D world still. Yeah, oh yeah, I love the Star Ocean 2 remake. I'd probably have loved it more if I'd actually played the original game at all, but it still felt like what should be the gold standard for remaking like a PlayStation 1 era RPG for the modern age. Oh, no worries. I mean, I like hearing people talk, and if I need to actually focus on the run, I'll do so. This is an extremely chill speed game, by the way, too, at least with this rule set. The fighting is simple. The menus are fairly simple, and there isn't really a ton of on-the-fly decision making. There's bits here and there to keep it interesting, but as a whole, it's a pretty chill speed game. That's what I was looking for too, as far as why I picked this up again back in July, I think. I'm aiming for a new PB. I mean, this game, I should say, this category has been routed pretty well by quite a few people. I don't really feel like I have much to contribute to it at this point. It's more just about trying to improve my time by about another 2 minutes and then move on. Well, if they ever ported that to Steam, I'd certainly give it a casual play at least, because I've never actually played Phantasy Star 1 before. I do not have a Switch, but if they put it on PC or something else, I'd certainly be down. It did disappoint me though that they never localized the PlayStation 2 remake of Phantasy Star 1 because that looks really cool. I've seen videos of that, and I know there's a translation hack for it, although I think it only works on emulator. It might be, although that would just be I think that would probably just be the straight vanilla version of Phantasy Star 1 that doesn't have the quality of life enhancements of the Switch version. Like, what is it? I think you can, there's an in-game, there's a built-in map system. I think you can level up faster if you choose, and, speed up option too. Yeah, I know. It feels like one of those games where you can just kind of look at the speedrun times and know what's up there, because it's what, like a 5-ish hour run for the original, and then a 1-ish hour run for the Switch version. Oh, nice. Yeah, I remember when Jacid was running all the Phantasy Stars, including the first one. At least as of then, it was like 5 to 5.5 hours, I think. A huge chunk of which was killing fishmen. Thanks a lot, Yodi. Oh, nice, Holy Fire. I actually didn't. I did not have a Genesis as a kid, although I played a few Genesis games here and there, like Sonic 2 and else Sonic 1, I guess. But my college roommate had a Genesis instead of an NES or Super Nintendo, so he introduced me to the games like Phantasy Star 4 and Shining Force 2. Moken. Yeah, I remember enjoying Shining Force 2 when I played it, except for the fact that the music restarts every time an action happens in battle. That got kind of old kind of fast, but aside from that, it was quite nice. There's a PS. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the Shining series outside of the Genesis. I know there were some other games, like on the GBA and Sega CD. Not on pace for anything close to a sub 15 Ashura, but I've had like 4 or 5 can't runs. Hey, Wordman, I'll come in. anything goes too wacky here, I should save a little bit of time at least. Well, that was something wacky. Killed the robot. Sigh. Feels like that's the first time in forever, actually, that actually gotten trolled by a Shiro like that. It does demonstrate, though, that at least that with this route, it's borderline impossible to actually die to a Shiro. The only way that could have really gone worse, I'd say, is if after Shura had killed everybody else, that he used 6 arms undead. Sorry, mask. Totally not our dead. He might have been able to kill Mask that way. Well, I've seen the original Phantasy Star 1, and the music didn't really sound bad to me, but, yeah, I mean, if you're comparing against CD quality audio, though, it's hard to compete. Oh, nice, Holy Fire. Yeah, I don't think I ever actually drew my own maps as a kid, but that's just one of the coolest things that I've ever seen through the powers of the internet, is just like scans of people's childhood maps from RPGs. That does bring back memories, though, of renting RPGs, and I did a lot of my childhood rentals from a mom and pop video store that actually gave original manuals with games, and sometimes people wrote like a lot of manuals for especially Super Nintendo games, like reserved the last page or two for writing notes, and sometimes people had written notes on that too, and I kind of remember renting Final Fantasy 4, aka Final Fantasy 2, once, and somebody had written in big letters there, "Once on the moon, go straight to the tower. If not, Golbez will control the earth, the moon, and much, much more." It's just, wonder if that was an attempt to troll later people to rent. Does anyone... Oh, yes, I mean, as far as I know, the Switch version of Phantasy Star 1 is more popular for speedrunning than the Master System version, just because it's a lot shorter run. 3 to 4 hours faster. Hey, Escrow, come in. I guess I've always figured that DQ12 is like a lot of other modern big budget Square Enix games, where they they get announced, and then it's like 2 to 3 years or more, or even more in some cases, where there's just zero news whatsoever about it. Like, yep, Final Fantasy VII Remake and Kingdom Hearts 3 come to mind, and then before that, actually, Final Fantasy X HD. I remember that was tormenting FF10 speedrunners on if there was going to be a new version of the game that let you skip cutscenes, and there was just zero news about it for years. Yep, yeah, exactly. I really dislike that personally. For me, I find that when games are in are kind of publicly in development for that long, I start to just mentally think about them as, oh, that game that's not coming out anytime soon. And then I have like zero hype at all for actually playing it when it comes out. I'm just not mentally not expecting it to ever come out anytime soon. If that makes sense. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either. Of like people about leaks being treated as gospel like that. I mean, if for no other reason than that, I mean, projects get canceled sometimes, and that might be getting people's hopes up for something that's never actually going to come out. I personally think DQ12 is going to underperform if it changes too much from previous Dragon Quests, because I feel like a big appeal of the Dragon Quest series is how consistent it is, that the mainline games at least are all turn-based and all, you really, if you've played a Dragon Quest game, you kind of know what you're in for, and if they make it like an action game or change, excuse me, just change too much stuff so that it doesn't really kind of feel like Dragon Quest anymore. I think that'd be more harmful than making it exclusive to something. Thanks for the luck, Ubi Goichi. Yep, we're destroying them by running away from them and stealing their magi. Oh, yeah, congrats, DQ2 is not an easy game, even the versions of it are still pretty... Yeah, that's honestly part of why I've never actually played DQ8. That the best version of it is handheld only. I mean, I'm not fundamentally opposed to handheld games or anything. I just don't really do it much anymore. I prefer to play games, especially RPGs, on console. Oh yeah, I do not. I mean, I do. One thing I do refuse to do is to play games on my phone. If I'm gonna play a game on the go, it would be like on either my Steam Deck or 3DS or something. Yeah, I'm sure that's a pretty common issue with porting games originally made for a console to a handheld is comfort factor. Well, I know there's numerous non-Japanese speakers that have speedrun DQ4 on PS1. Yeah, yeah. I do find ironic. I mean, this dungeon is not terribly exciting in the speedrun because it's like 10 minutes of just running away from stuff, but I do unironically think it's a pretty cool dungeon, especially if you look at zoomed out maps of the different parts of Key's body, because like we're actually in Key's digestive system right here. Like we just went up the intestine and now we're going into the stomach. Like Key's heart is, I believe, mostly anatomically correct as far as having 4 chambers, valve going in and out. Yeah, well, having rhinoceroses and golems and stuff in her feet is definitely something she should get checked out. Space to gain a bit. How many more counters I get here? 6 fidges. Hey, Arku, welcome in. Let's look. any. Hey, Munkin. I'm pretty good. Pretty relaxing day yesterday, and today was a bit busier, but still pretty acceptable weekend. Ah, get out of my way. It's making me crave the ability to jump over NPCs that you get in Final Fantasy Legend 3 and Mystic Quest. Hey, sure, lol, come in. The phagocytes, which are a type of white blood cell, have kind of followed us out of Key's body and into the normal-sized world. The record is somewhere around an hour 35, I want to say. I have yet to actually watch it, so I don't know if the reason it's so much faster than my times is because of using a different route, or if it's just getting phenomenally lucky and capitalizing on it. Because I mean, there are a couple alternative routes for this, and like the one where you could kind of involves taking the most risks in return for potentially saving time is to use one or more mutants instead of humans. Mutants in this game randomly learn special skills after winning certain fights. The creme de la creme of that is the teleport skill, which we'll be getting later on via the Pegasus Magi. But if you learn the teleport mutant skill at the earliest point that you can, you're saving multiple minutes worth of backtracking. I prefer consistent routes for most of my speed games. Largely because I generally only stream once a week. Don't really have. I mean, riskier routes are the kind where you do a lot more runs until eventually the game gives you the luck you need to get a good time. I'm not really doing enough runs right now to have that pay off for games I run. It's 2 ambushes and counting. We're not out of this place yet. There's only certain monsters that can ambush you. It's the eyes, I believe, here that can do it. Hey, Gunnar, I'm doing. Oh, nice. Yeah, I own all of the various remakes and remasters of Romancing Sagas, but I have yet to actually play any of them. The main thing that's always stood out to me about Romancing Saga 3 is that the menu sound effects are reused from Chrono Trigger. Like, I've seen speedruns of RS3, and the menu sound effects have made me double take. Because, like, the sound for, like, using healing items or tabs or stuff are totally reused. Suikoden or Romancing Saga 2? I mean, I know there's remakes or remasters of both coming out. Okay. Yeah, I know I think that was supposed to be out by now, but it's been delayed, like, just once or twice. Yeah, maybe I'll finally actually play Suikoden once the remake is out, because I have yet to do so. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the DQ3, or as I call it, Dragon Quoctopath 3 take 2. The biggest thing about that I'm curious about is how much new content they're going to be adding, because I imagine it's going to have to be somewhat considerable to justify making it a $60 game. Six phagocytes, we're gonna skip the run. I got a lower number of phagocytes, I'd grab an extra item to sell for cash here. Oh, interesting. Super. I've ever noticed that. It certainly makes sense, though, because I do believe Chrono Cross and Final Fantasy VIII came out around the same time. Developed around the same time. Ah, okay, yeah, I was about to say, I was expecting to save a bit of time there, but I had 2 ambushes in the Cave of Light, so that makes sense. Sell the X-Cure instance. I actually don't even remember. I want to say FF8. Like, I think I played FF8 before Chrono Cross for what that was. A headbutt by a robot 3 times, no less. Going for the Cerberus strats there. Oh yeah, and I guess I also did that misstep coming in here with going through trying to open the locked door too. So yeah, it cost a bit of. Final Fantasy VIII was one of the first just video games, period, that I remember completely purchasing with my own money. Yeah, it's what I thought as far as them was coming out the same year. Now we get our overdose of the Crisis theme. This game has an absolutely banger soundtrack, but this particular theme does kind of get old with how short the loop is. That's fair. I like Chrono Cross, but as I've said, yeah, like I've said numerous times when the subject has come up, like when I've been streaming Chrono Trigger runs, I think Chrono Cross is a good game in its own right, but it's a very bad sequel to Chrono Trigger. Not just for story reasons, but just the gameplay is so different. It barely has anything at all in common with Chrono Trigger than just being a turn-based RPG with encounters that you can avoid via avoiding the enemy sprites. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it took the same amount of time. There was the same amount of time between Final Fantasies, what was it, 15 and 16 as there was between 1 through 6. I think it's the scheduling. Yeah, I mean, I think it's because of Mario RPG being a Squaresoft game that the rights to Geno are so special. It's how few other games have Geno in them. Yeah, this world is literally just this, all we're seeing here. It's pretty silly. Little cameo by Nobuo Uematsu here. Sad music. That is absolutely one thing that I miss about SNES and PlayStation 1 era gaming, though, is just how much faster new games came out and established series. I mean, again, it took 7 years, I think, in between Final Fantasies 15 and 16's release. Hey DJ Day, welcome in. Yeah, I mean, I saw the Final Fantasy movie in theaters when it first came out, and all I remember it really having to do with Final Fantasy was having a character named Sid. Pretty much it. I definitely did roll my eyes though when I was fighting a boss in Final Fantasy 16 who had a special attack called Spirits Within, and then another special attack called Spirits Without. I mean, I remember not thinking it was a bad movie, but just I didn't understand why it was Final Fantasy. And I remember Steve Buscemi having some good lines too. I could not tell you what his character's name was, but I just remember Steve Buscemi being Steve Buscemi. I was somewhat of a fan of him at the time because of his work on Coen Brothers movies like Fargo. We did not get the meat drop from that, so if I'd have eaten the meat from the baby worm at the very beginning, then I would have started to bleed some time here, having to retry that fight until I get the drop. Wonder if Advent Children is still considered canon, or if they've decanonized it in favor of other Final Fantasy VII lore. That is true. Like, I know one of the theories about the FF7 multiverse from the remake games is that the Sephiroth that you are interacting with is actually the Sephiroth from Advent Children instead of from Final Fantasy VII original. Back in time to cause mischief. I mean, I've always thought that the strength of FF7's story was more just kind of the world, the lore, and the characters more than the story proper, because doing speedruns of FF7 original, I feel like really kind of drives home just how much of the game you're spending just chasing Sephiroth around the world kind of aimlessly at a lot of times, too. That's certainly something I hope they explain better in the last remake game, assuming they stick with it as far as, you know, what the deal with Nova and Sephiroth clones is. Yeah, I was not a fan of the snowboarding because you have one of the most dramatic moments in any video game up to that point with Gareth dying, and then you climb a mountain and go snowboarding afterwards. That felt just wrong to me. That's another thing that really gets driven home if you speedrun original Final Fantasy VII is how many mini games it has, because the bulk of them you have to do at least once to beat the game. So there's a lot of mini games you have to do in the speedrun. I appreciated that they put a ton of mini games into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as a homage to that, but a lot of them are purely optional. I enjoyed FF7 Remake and Rebirth a lot personally. Like for Remake, I had rock bottom expectations, but then I played it and I really enjoyed it. But I mean I can respect people not liking it for various reasons. Yeah, I was definitely glad that they did not bring back the CPR minigame in Rebirth. That was one of the goofier ones in there. I guess that's something I've just come to expect about pretty much all modern RPGs is that just they move very slowly as far as the storytelling because there's so many cutscenes, especially in the early game. I feel like I've just kind of changed my expectations that when I play a newer RPG, I'm just mentally preparing myself for a slow burn. It takes many hours to really get going. Oh yeah, yeah. I never played the remake of DQ11 because I 100%ed the PS4 version, and since then I've just not had the motivation to play it again, remake. But yeah, I can only imagine how much shorter the cutscenes are in 2D mode. But I mean. You could I know in the remake you can skip cutscenes, although that's another thing that I just rolled my eyes so hard at. They chose to wait until the remake to make cutscenes skippable at all in 3D mode. Like, come on, guys, and others, just cutscenes being skippable should be the complete norm of all games these days. That would be pretty sweet, although, I mean, with how Breath of Fire was sent to mobile phones to die, I'd be pleasantly surprised if Capcom ever does anything with it again at this point. Save some time here if this cooperates. Yeah, oh yeah, I personally would rather see new Lufia stuff than Breath of Fire. But take either. Like a pixel remaster of Lufia 2 would be Nothing happened on that turn. Nice. Alright. Fairly good Venus's World overall. You see, that was honestly one of the things that I really enjoyed about FF7 Remake, personally, was the banter between the characters when you're walking around. Like, I like, as far as just new stuff added to flesh out the world, just the small talk I enjoyed more than like the new chapters and main story quests and stuff. Oh yeah, the repeating joke of Red being treated like a pet was funny. Well, got a minute and 1 second lead coming into the Watcher, which is the, people not familiar with this run, this is where runs generally go to die. It's where I need to, farm a, meat drop to evolve my baby dragon that's been complete dead weight for the past 58 minutes. Yeah, this is another pretty goofy world where you're on a dragon racetrack. It was a somewhat recent routing development, actually, too, is to, because not every dragon that you can rent gets that fight there, so previously a somewhat slower moving dragon was used, but then it was found that if you take a faster dragon, even though you get an extra fight there, you can just run from it. Right, it begins. I do this fight until 1, I get 1 or 2 Watchers instead of 3 or 4, and 2, I get a meat. Well, 2, I get a meat drop, and 3, my dragon is still alive at the end of the fight. Decently good luck with the Watcher count so far. Just need to see that meat drop. Hey! Yeah, I mean, I still have yet to get it first try in a run, but yeah, that was not I mean, I got pretty lucky with the number of fights I had to reset out of because there were too many watchers to even try for it. And then I also didn't have to retry the Lamia fight beforehand at all, too. Alright, time for Banana's World. Seedy, shady underbelly of the banana smuggling trade. This split is really, really good in my current PB, by the way, too. It's going to be really tough to actually save time here. There isn't anywhere near as much RNG with this stuff as with the Watcher, but all of the parts where RNG could matter, it went very well. People not in the know, by the way, too, in the Japanese version, the bananas are opium, so this was a kind of a fun, memorable way to censor it. Yeah, I guess I never thought about that too, but yeah, it's pretty clearly a altar of sacrifice that you're from. Then you have Illusion of Gaia, where the slaves are called laborers, and aboard the sinister banana boat. Make a tank out of a chest. Looking at the times too, yeah. If I'd have had a better start, that could have been sub-hour watcher too, which I know is the kind of pace you want to be on if you're going for sub 140. smuggling. You find out that the government is in on it. Oh, it's- Yeah, well, yeah. We're about to find out the problems with playing your theme music too loudly when we go spy on the smugglers. Just kind of envisioning playing Metal Gear Solid now and getting discovered because of Snake playing his theme music too loudly. Hey, you get cooped? Welcome in. Yeah, I haven't played MGS5 yet, but that sounds very, very Kojima. Assuming you couldn't do that in MGS4 when you have an iPod, but don't remember that being a thing. Yeah, true mixtapes, which do naturally make more noise than digital music players, for sure. Ooh, nice. The number of monsters in this fight is random, and only getting one is very lucky. That's what my PB got, so I'm not saving time here, but I'm not losing it either. Well, I guess there's the boss still to come, but yeah, the other kind of big RNG factor here is if I get refights with the Gate Guardians on the upper floors of the castle. So then I can't run. It's a fairly common issue with old RPGs too, where if you have a storyline fight with just regular monsters that then later gets reused as an actual random encounter, because they're just flat out reusing the story version of the fight. It's marked as unrunnable, like the thing in like Final Fantasy VI and a few other games like that. Well, I did in fact buy some bananas when I was grocery shopping this morning, so hopefully Magnate will cooperate because of me having stimulated the big banana economy. Yeah, I guess I'm surprised Twitch doesn't have a content warning flag for bananas yet. Like they do with like alcohol and violence and stuff. No unrunnable fights yet. Oh. Shoutouts to the sprite work, by the way, too. It is top notch. That's what we don't want to see, though. Yeah, you know what? I can't keep going. We killed the robot. Jeez, I might have actually saved time there too if I'd have first tried Magnate. A tornado is more or less his I win move. Okay, I think we got him this time, though. Ah, nice. Yeah, that would have been a gold if he hadn't tornadoed me that early. But yeah, unfortunately, we're now coming up on another split that's hard for me to save time on because of having a very clean Odin fight, and there just not really being that much else going on in Odin's world. I don't know, after doing more runs, I almost kind of feel like Odin is worse than Magnate as far as the number of things that can go wrong. Because, yeah, I mean, for starters, even if you win, you can still lose in the form of getting the Sleipnir meat glitch, which is where if you get the meat drop from Odin's trusty steed, Sleipnir, that deletes most of your money from the fight, and means you have to do some detours in quote-unquote final dungeon to make up that money. Odin can also just stab and kill your robot at pretty much any time with his Gungnir spear. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a shame that there's just no dialogue, period. I think it'd be kind of neat if there was some kind of dialogue if you make it all the way here without ever actually game overing. Because, yeah, normally if you game over up until this point, you come to Valhalla Palace, and then Odin revives you if you promise to fight him someday. Well, and some days now. I mean, the final boss, Arsenal, I would say is also worse than Magnate, because the really, really bad things that it can do to you are in its last phase, by which point, I mean, if you have to reset at that point, it's extremely costly. Okay, fair. If you're not counting Arsenal, then yeah. People that count are still alive. I think we got him. Nice. Ah, meat glitch though. Well, that means rip all the potential time save on the Warmax split. That sucks. I don't even actually know offhand how much time that costs, but it's somewhat significant. It's probably not enough to kill any chance of getting a PB, but I don't think I'm getting a 142 in this run with the Sleipnir meat glitch. Probably debatable if I really need to save here too. I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but I've never actually died to this. I mean, it can go poorly, but actually dying to it, I imagine, takes some extraordinary bad luck. Right, well, I think that was one turn faster than the PB. PB, I think, got third try Stone Gaze in both Minion and Warmech. Got to admire Warmack's taste in interior decorating with all the screaming faces here. This is our first of several additional pickups we're gonna have to do to make up for getting meat glitched. Yeah, for sure, DJ G code. And this game is a pretty simple story all in all, but the stronger points certainly hit hard. Same for Legend 3, which is the one I actually played as a kid. And all this extra stuff. I mean, the Arthur armor I would actually get in a normal run, but the other chests I'm grabbing are covering money. No, I don't get the Excalibur. The Sun Sword and the tent. I mean, the Sun Sword to sell, and then the tent just to not need to buy. That should more or less make up for the money I was supposed to get from Odin. Or is just buying the healing items I need for the final dungeon. The real final dungeon. I mean, this place I'm in now is called Final Dungeon, but it is not actually the final dungeon in the game. Oh yeah, I still have yet to actually encounter a Haniwa in a run, but it's definitely pretty silly to have the best weapon in the game be a rare drop from an extremely rare encounter that's on the last floor of the last dungeon. It's just like, I mean, at that point, just why? Well, Metric, the thing about the Haniwa is that that's actually the only encounter in the last dungeon that you can actually run away from, so it's not that bad, actually, to get a Haniwa in a speedrun. Because it's the only thing you don't have to fight. Nice. Alright, so I still save time despite having to do extra stuff because mostly just because I petrified Warback before it actually did anything. Well, got a real shot at a PB now. Finish strong. It's not strong. That's called pressing the wrong buttons. Not selling the tent. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Lashik and Dark Forest look pretty rough in Phantasy Star 1, even casually too, not even at a speedrun level. I mean, the only one I've actually currently played in full is Phantasy Star 4, and I don't remember Profound Darkness being actually that hard at proper levels. And with Raja as my 5th character, who's got really kick butt healing. Oh yeah, yeah. In a speedrun, it's another story. If Profound Darkness does canceling into budget, and then you lose. So it just blew me away the first time I saw a PS4 speedrun that they take Kyra or Kira instead of Raja. Dark Forest and Phantasy Star 2 looks just absolutely horrific though, as far as how it can take control of your characters with really nothing you can do about it, and the recovery from that is totally random too. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is some definite cheese here, just kind of abusing knowledge of which specific weapons and spells can actually hurt Apollo during his first phase before he transforms. So we're more or less skipping the first half of the fight that way. Alright, so we got the final boss is not free at all in this game, but even getting to the final boss has a fair bit of luck behind it too, because with the exception of the Haniwa super boss that we've talked about a few times, from this point on I can't run from anything, and there's some RNG as far as how long it takes to clear certain enemy formations. Wow, 2,000? That must have been a crit or something. That or was hitting a weakness or something. I'm used to the Cat Claw doing about 1,000 damage here. Yeah, that Musashi wasn't quite brave enough. Clear book. Shoutouts to demo loads, by the way, too, but not their mate. Yeah. Hilarious translation for Demon Lord. My robot broken in a good way or something? Like, what's going on with this 2000 damage? Oh yeah, agility is king in this game. Like we do an agility build on the robot to kind of be the damage output for the whole game, pretty much. There's a couple fights where I do other like where I have to do other stuff to use weapons or abilities that hit groups of enemies to win faster, but for the most part, it's just all stacking the robot with as much agility boosting gear as possible, and then using weapons that calculate damage based on agility instead of strength, which Cat Claw is, I think, the best in the game. Hey, Coach Day, thanks a look. Yeah, I know speed is the most important stat by quite a bit in 7th Saga. Problem with pressing B too many times when clearing out of the menu. Okay, that's a little more like it. I wonder, was I getting crits or just hitting weaknesses or something with those other fights? Because I feel like I'm not used to seeing over 2,000 damage hits in this game. I mean, it's going to take a lot to lose my entire lead here, but it's certainly not out of the question if the final boss is a big meaty jerk. Yep, a very confused looking chocobo. Oh, I would love to see a Haniwa and a PB run. I have the timing down too to buffer opening the menu after getting out of fights too, to remove a lot of the fear of getting into another fight before killing Isis's magic. Yeah, that Sleipnir doesn't quite have enough legs. Could have gone for one Fenrir, but we're getting tornadoed. I'll take that. Yeah. What can I say though? It's an old game. We'll just say that Fenrir is a tiger instead of a wolf in this world. Let's walk there. Nice. Hey, go time. Kind of a good start with destroying a cannon before they attack, so that reduces the amount of damage I take by a bit. Whether I win or lose this fight all comes down to the last phase, though, where it does a AoE attack that can do up to 639 damage with nothing to do to block or reduce it. Right. Pretty hard hit on the robot. I was debating if I should try to heal the robot. Oh. Ah! Yeah, this is not looking good at this point. Now I have to worry about Arsenal getting 2 turns back to back. Or absorb missing. I don't think I actually hit it with the robot before it died too. Good. Still have a chance though. Yes! Heck yeah. Made me sweat really, really hard, but we got him. And we got a 142. Heck yeah. Yeah, I think I was ahead pretty much the whole time. I'll have to check back to see about the very start. All right. Okay, I was less than a second behind as of Ashura, but yeah, no, the start of this run had a lot of failed fleas. I mean, up through Ashura, I think I had maybe like 4 or 5 failed fleas. After that, I think I lost a bit of time on Dunadas because of getting ambushed twice and then trying to go through a door that was still locked. Forget what I think what happened on Ninja was that probably just more minor luck variations, but then yeah, I got fairly nice Venus's World overall. I got first try Venus and nothing too terrible in the world. Watcher was maybe like 4th try or so. I remember getting quite lucky with the number of the number of Watchers, because I have to reset instantly if I get 3 or more, because it's just not, the odds are just too stacked against me at that point to finish the fight with my monster still alive. And then yeah, and then I had to reset on Magnate because he killed the robot on turn 2, which is just I'm just if I win at that point, it's going to be so slow that I'm better off just reloading and hoping to get luckier at that point. But yeah, the rest of Edo World was nice. I just like my previous PB, I got a 1 enemy type on the gate, on the bridge, or in front of the gate, and then I didn't get any unrunnable fights after that. Yeah, I got first try Odin, but it was a Pyrrhic victory, and then I got the Sleipnir meat glitch, so that ate up some time on the Warmech split. Probably to the tune of like, feels like at least 30 seconds or so. I'm not really a great judge for stuff like that. In the Wormex segment itself, I got, I think, 2nd try Stone Gaze on Minion, and then 1st on Wormec, which is why I saved time there, despite having to get 2 extra detour chests in the dungeon leading up to it, because of the Sleipnir glitch. I think saving time on Apollo was probably just from cleaner menuing. Then yeah, no, that was a pretty, yeah, this looks like it was a 2-second gold on Arsenal. Yeah, that would have been that might have had a shot at being a 141 if the robot hadn't just died instantly on phase 3. But yeah, but just it's really scary if that happens, because then you're dependent on your madam healing up all the damage that Arsenal does, and the 2 main things that can screw that up are either Arsenal getting 2 turns in a row because of how the turn order works out, or missing with Absorb. The end.